Ukraine's air defenses are at risk of running out of missiles and ammunition within weeks. This is according to Pentagon documents that apparently leaked. The documents date back to February. One of the documents, marked secret, outlines how Ukraine's S-300 air defense systems would be depleted by the 2nd of May if they are used at the current rate. Two people have been killed after Russian forces struck a residential building in the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia. A woman was rescued from the wreckage. Authorities said 2 missiles had destroyed one building and damaged others. The strike was the latest in a series of recent attacks on civilian targets in Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky used his Easter Sunday address to speak about what he called the defeat of evil. He spoke about the latest strikes in the city of Zaporizhia. He said, and I quote, "This is how Russia puts itself in even greater isolation from the world and from humanity." China continues to conduct combat readiness patrols and military exercises around Taiwan. Troops coordinated to carry out simulated precision strikes on key targets on the island of Taiwan and the surrounding waters. Dozens of aircraft, including early warning planes, fighters, and bombers, flew to the targeted airspace. The drills come after Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen visited the US and met US House Speaker Kevin McCarthy despite China's threats. Taiwan is on high alert as China carries out its latest series of military drills. The island's defense ministry said the drills are destabilizing and jeopardizing regional security. Taipei said it had spotted 71 Chinese aircraft and 9 Navy vessels around the island within 24 hours. Senior Japanese and Chinese officials met to discuss maritime concerns. The meeting is part of a regular round of talks that first began in 2012. The meeting comes as Chinese warplanes and warships simulated strikes against Taiwan. Japan's defense ministry said that Shandong aircraft carrier had conducted air operations in waters close to Japan's Okinawan Islands on Sunday. A delegation from Saudi Arabia has arrived in Iran. The aim of the trip is to discuss the reopening of embassies and consulates. The Saudi Ministry of Foreign Affairs hailed the visit as part of implementing the recent tripartite agreement. The two countries severed diplomatic ties in 2016. They held talks to resume relations in March under China's mediation. Saudi Arabia and Yemen's Houthi militia held direct talks in the Yemeni capital of Sana'a. The talks aimed to revive a ceasefire. The Saudi delegation arrived in Sana'a after the arrival of the Omani delegation on the same day. Oman has mediated previous rounds of negotiations between the Yemeni government, Saudi Arabia, and the Houthi rebels. The 2 Israeli sisters who were killed in a shooting attack in the West Bank were laid to rest. The 2 women were also British citizens. Their car was shot up by a suspected Palestinian gunman that Israeli forces are trying to track down. Their mother was also in the car and sustained serious injuries in the shooting. Pope Francis has expressed deep concern over the ongoing tensions between Israel and Palestine. The Pope voiced his concerns during an Easter Mass. He said violence threatens the desired climate of trust and mutual respect needed to resume dialogue between Israelis and Palestinians. Clashes broke out at Al-Aqsa Mosque after Israeli police entered the premises. Thousands of people in Georgia took to the streets against what they called the backsliding of democracy. Demonstrators gathered outside the Georgian parliament. They waved flags of Georgia and the European Union. They carried banners that read, "For a European Future." Georgia's ruling party faces accusations of jailing opponents, silencing independent media, and collaborating with Russia. An explosion caused 2 residential buildings to collapse in the French city of Marseille. As many as 10 people are thought to be trapped under the rubble. The cause of the explosion is not yet known. 5 people sustained serious injuries and were taken to the hospital. A 3rd building partially collapsed. People are being evacuated from around 30 buildings in the area. Kuwait has got its 7th government in 3 years. This comes as the country faces a deep political crisis. The previous government resigned in January. This came just 3 months after they'd taken office. The then Prime Minister and Cabinet cited disputes with Parliament as the reason for their resignation. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar begins his visit to the African nations of Uganda and Mozambique today. This will be a 6-day trip. It starts with a 3-day visit to Uganda. The visit highlights India's push for increased diplomatic engagement with its African partners. A boat with around 400 migrants is adrift between Greece and Malta. This comes at a time when there is a sharp rise of migrant boat crossings in the Mediterranean from North Africa. Maltese authorities reportedly ordered nearby merchant ships not to carry out a rescue operation. Reports say that several of the migrants on board required medical attention. 4 people have died and 9 have been injured in an avalanche. It happened at the Armanset Glacier near Mont Blanc in southeastern France. The avalanche was extensive and occurred at an altitude of 3,500 meters. The cause of the avalanche is being investigated. Brazilian President Lula da Silva went to areas affected by flooding in the country's northeast. Heavy flooding has submerged houses and streets in the region. Lula visited shelters where he spoke to people displaced by the floods. According to local authorities, almost 36,000 families have been affected. Scientists have said that glaciers in the Pyrenees Mountains may disappear over the next decade. The Pyrenees mountain range marks the natural border between Spain and France. It has seen 28 glaciers disappear or become reduced since 1984. Scientists have blamed climate change for the glacial retreat. According to numbers from the latest tiger census, India now has more than 3,100 tigers. The number has increased from 2,900 in 2018. This marks an increase of about 7%. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled the numbers on Sunday at the International Big Cat Alliance conference. A 17-meter-long sperm whale died after washing up on a beach in Bali in Indonesia. The male sperm whale was found stranded on Yele Beach in West Bali's Jembrana district. This is the 3rd such instance in little over a week. Japan's chief cabinet secretary has said that the country will consider government adoption of artificial intelligence technology. He said that AI chatbot ChatGPT can be used if its privacy and cybersecurity concerns are resolved. His remarks came shortly before Sam Altman, CEO of ChatGPT developer OpenAI, met Japanese President Fumio Kishida. In his meeting, Altman said that his company is looking to open a Japan office. Chinese search engine giant Baidu has filed lawsuits over fake copies of its ErnieBot app. The lawsuits have been filed against Apple and relevant app developers. The fake copies of the app were seen on Apple's App Store. Baidu has said that Ernie does not have any official app as of now. The Bank of Canada is expected to leave interest rates unchanged in its April meeting. Last month, it became the first major central bank to pause the rate hike cycle. The central bank has raised its benchmark rate to a 15-year high of 4.5%. The Bank of Canada will meet on Wednesday to kick off its April meeting. 71-year-old Japanese academic Kazuo Ueda has taken the helm of the Japan Central Bank. Ueda began his term on Sunday. He has stressed on the need for an ultra-easy monetary policy to achieve Japan's inflation target. He succeeded Haruhiko Kuroda, whose term ended on Saturday. A Californian Tesla owner has sued the car maker for violating the privacy of its customers. This comes after a report that said employees of the EV maker secretly shared invasive videos of their customers. These videos were recorded by the cameras in the car. This is a serious violation of Tesla's customer privacy. India's Tata Group has been in talks to take over Taiwanese firm Winston's Indian iPhone plant. It's likely to complete the takeover by April end. This means India would have its first domestically owned iPhone plant. The plant will likely see around 4,000 mid-level employees being laid off after the takeover. The factory will likely start producing iPhone 15s after the deal concludes. Taiwanese chipmaker TSMC is in talks with Washington over the US CHIPS Act. The CHIPS Act has been designed to boost US semiconductor manufacturing. The chipmaker is in talks regarding guidance on subsidy criteria, which has initially sparked concerns. Conditions for subsidies include sharing excess profit with the US government. TSMC is one of the world's largest chip makers. The US unit of crypto exchange Binance is struggling to find a bank to handle its customers' cash. Previously, deposits were sent to either Signature Bank or Silvergate Capital Corp. Both the crypto-friendly banks have now collapsed. Regulations over crypto firms have tightened lately owing to the volatility of the sector. Twitter has put a government-funded media label on BBC's main Twitter account. The BBC contacted Twitter after the label was linked to it. The label links through a Twitter Help Center page. The Help Center page says that state-affiliated media are outlets controlled by the government. Taiwan's Foxconn is planning to invest $820 million to develop manufacturing facilities in the southern parts of the island. It will invest the amount over the next 3 years to support its electric vehicle ambitions. Foxconn is a major supplier to Apple and also assembles Apple products. The company is now planning to dip its toes into the electric vehicle markets. India has won 3 medals on day 1 of the Asian Wrestling Championships. Rupin secured a silver, while Neeraj Chikara and Sunil Kumar claimed bronze medals each. India has a 30-member squad across the women's and men's freestyle and Greco-Roman divisions. The championship, which was earlier supposed to be held in New Delhi, is being hosted by Kazakhstan. Sunrisers Hyderabad have registered an 8-wicket victory over Punjab Kings in Sunday's IPL match. This made it their maiden victory in the current season of the IPL. Sunrisers chose to bowl first and limited Punjab to 143 runs. In the chase, Rahul Tripathi scored 74 of 48 balls, while Sunrisers captain Aiden Markham remained 37 not out. Royal Challengers Bangalore will face Lucknow Super Giants in today's IPL match. Lucknow Super Giants have won 2 out of the 3 matches that they have played so far. Royal Challengers Bangalore have won only 1 of their 2 matches. The 2 teams have met twice in IPL season so far, and both times Bangalore have won. In football, Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr were tied at a goalless draw with Al Fayha at Sunday's Saudi Pro League match. The score makes it Al Nassr's fifth draw of the season. This means that Al Nassr will remain in second place on the points table. Ronaldo-led Al Nassr has 53 points in 23 games with 16 wins and 2 losses. Liverpool launched a strong comeback on Arsenal to claim a 2-all draw in Sunday's Premier League match. Arsenal had taken an early lead with a goal in the 8th minute by forward player Gabriel Martinelli. Liverpool forward Roberto Firmino scored a goal in the 87th minute to draw the match. The match could have been Arsenal's first win at the Anfield Stadium since 2012. Manchester United is preparing to face Sevilla in the Europa League quarter-final first leg on Thursday evening. There is some uncertainty surrounding the club's takeover. Bidders, including Jim Ratcliffe and Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani, are waiting to hear whether or not their revised offers met the Glazer family's requirements. World number one Novak Djokovic hopes for a strong start to his clay court season at the Monte Carlo Masters next week. The 22-time Grand Slam champion begins his season after having missed the Indian Wells and Miami Masters. He could not enter the United States unvaccinated, which gave him more practice time. India's Priyanshu Rajawat registered a thrilling win in the final against Denmark's Magnus Johansson. Rajawat clinched the men's singles title at the Orleans Masters with 21-15, 19-21 and 21-16. This is Rajawat's maiden Badminton World Tour tournament. Tiger Woods has tweeted that he withdrew from the Masters tournament because of a foot injury. The golfer thanked his fans for showing love and support. Woods was limping while playing in the tournament on Saturday. He finished the second round with a score of 73. F1 racer Max Verstappen is hopeful that Fernando Alonso can take a long-awaited 33rd race win. Verstappen said, and I quote, "Fernando should have already won a lot more races than he has done." The Spaniard claimed victory at the sport in the 2013 Spanish Grand Prix. Actor Bella Ramsey has signed up for a period drama titled Monstrous Beauty. In the movie, she will play an aspiring playwright in the court of King Charles II of England. The filming is set to begin in September this year. Ramsey was last seen in the drama series The Last of Us. The spin-off of the popular Disney series The Mandalorian has two new cast members. The series, titled Ashoka, has roped in actors Lars Mikkelsen and David Tennant. It also stars Rosario Dawson as the titular character Ashoka Tano. While the trailer has been launched, a release date for the series is yet to be announced. Actor Timothée Chalamet will be doing his own singing for a biopic on late singer Bob Dylan. The film is titled A Complete Unknown. It's based on author Elijah Wald's 2015 book on Dylan, titled Dylan Goes Electric. Filming is expected to begin in August. Actor Jack Black has dropped a video for the song Peaches from his latest film. The song was featured as a ballad for Princess Peach in the film Super Mario Bros. Movie. In the music video, Black is dressed as his character Bowser from the film. Comedy horror film Cocaine Bear will now be available for streaming. The film will begin streaming on the platform Peacock from the 14th of April. Actors Jesse Tyler Ferguson and Kerry Russell starred in the film that released in February this year. The final episodes of Season 4 of the drama series Manifest have set premiere dates. Part 2 of Season 4 will stream on the 2nd of June on Netflix. This season will mark the show's final 10 episodes. Comedy series New Girl was taken off Netflix yesterday. All 7 seasons of the series have been taken off the streaming platform after a decade-long run. However, the show will still be available on other streaming platforms like Hulu. The 2011 series starred Zooey Deschanel, Jake Johnson, and Max Greenfield. A new set of action figures for the film Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny have been launched. The figurines are modeled on actors Harrison Ford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Fans can buy the action figures for $24.99. Pre-booking for the action figures will begin on the 13th of April. Heavy metal band Motley Crue have hit back at co-founder Mick Mars's lawsuit. Mars alleged that the band is trying to force him out after 41 years. The band has responded by saying that Mars has already resigned. Mars had announced retirement from touring last year. Korean singer Jisoo's solo debut track Flower has crossed 100 million views. The song reached this milestone number in just over a week of its release. It has become the fastest K-pop music video of 2023 to hit 100 million views.